Vitaly might be screwed yet again. See, Vitaly is a Russian YouTuber who specialized in pred catching, which is a niche that's been gaining a ton of traction since the mid-2000s to the NBC show To Catch a Predator. He is also a nuisance streamer, which means exactly what you think it means. Going around the street acting like a deranged person, screaming in people's faces and over-the-top trolling. His nuisance streaming had already gotten him into a lot of trouble in the Philippines, where he was charged for harassment and disruption, consequently facing 290 days of jail time there, which was the longest he'd been incarcerated, following shorter arrests in the past, including 5 days in an Egyptian jail in 2020. But eventually by 2026 January, he was released and deported back to Russia. And since he has a green card for the US, he flew to the US to continue his pred catching series. Now at face value, this is a great initiative, publicly exposing predators, defaming them, and handing them over to the authorities to legally process them. But there's a catch. A lot of these pred catchers, in the heat of the moment, get extremely aggressive and grow pretty insensitive to what they're doing, since they do it every day. Now granted, most of the time when they do get aggressive, it is when the predator is trying to flee. But this is exactly where the problem stems from. What happens when you accidentally point fingers at the wrong guy, catch a completely innocent man, and instead of just handing him over to the authorities, defame him before he has a moment to explain, which is a privilege that the justice system does provide to everybody? That's what happened to Akash Singhania, who was at the wrong place at the wrong time. On April 13, 2026, Vitaly's team confronted Akash, accusing him of trying to meet a 16-year-old girl. While in the moment he was trying to explain his side of the story, Vitaly and his team completely ignored him, screamed at him, threatened to quote-unquote walk him down the street like a dog, and even went as far as telling his stream of a few thousand viewers to find his businesses, relatives, and inform them of his alleged predatory activities, which is something he does a lot. Akash was taken to the police department, where he was fully cooperative, and when the police found out there's been a mix-up and that he's not the person Vitaly was looking for, it was already too late. In a recent ICH podcast, Akash came forward and discussed his situation after everything had settled down, and he explained how this situation had ruined his life completely, to the point where he was even afraid to leave his house in case somebody would harm him after recognizing him in the streets, even though he hasn't done anything wrong. And this is exactly what's wrong with the pred catcher streamers. Don't get me wrong, they've done some incredible community work, but like Benjamin Franklin said, it is better 100 guilty persons should escape than that one innocent person should suffer. Akash's life has completely flipped due to this situation, and I don't think you guys can actually understand the graveness of it. His whole career, his familial relationships, his whole standing has been smeared, and it's all because of how these pred catchers conduct their confrontations. Instead of dealing with the situation by informing the proper authorities, they take matters into their own hands before handing them over, because content. So far, Vitaly has apologized publicly on social media for his actions, but Akash is already reportedly hiring top lawyers to take Vitaly to court. So yeah, we'll see what happens.